the Wrestling Kennection.
So, don't care.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Wrestling Connection. I am your host, as always, your connection to the wrestling world, Mr. Ken Hill. And alongside me, as always, is my good friend, the madman of wrestling himself, Mr. Zack Martinkus.
What up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a good Friday. And thank you, God, we are in May.
We are in May, which means it's this month's pay-per-view special,
Extreme Rules.
That's right, Extreme Rules. The one night where the WWE goes extreme. You see all sorts of stipulation matches, and we had the final week, the go home week, this past Monday night, and we kicked off in a most interesting way with one Mr. Bray Wyatt and one Mr. John Cena.
Yeah.
Of course, as you all know, Bray Wyatt has been doing his darndest to essentially indoctrinate Cena, much like he did with Kane last year, essentially trying to unleash the monster.
Yeah.
Exactly, unleash the monster from Cena, the monster that Cena supposedly doesn't let anyone see, that he hides from his fans, from the children, and he wanted to do this by taking away the one thing that means to Cena more than anything. The kids, the C Nation, and he did that in the most frightening way imaginable. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, Bray Wyatt's become synonymous with the well-known song. He's got the whole world in his hands, and it's just he's just turned it on its head, and he has made it sound like the creepiest song imaginable, especially going into this week. Where Bray Wyatt had a children's choir come out when Cena was in a steel cage, talking about the upcoming match.
Yep.
Bray has this children's choir come out. They start singing the song, and they make this slow march down to the ring.
Yep.
And the look on Cena's face is palpable. He was like, "What is going on right here?" He couldn't believe that this was happening. And you have all these kids surrounding the ring.
And then, just to make things even worse, lights go out, and you think something real bad's going to happen. Then you see these kids, the exact same kids that are surrounding the area, they all have the sheet mask. And it creeped me out, even just by watching it. I have a few friends of mine who were even telling me over this past week, were like, wow.
And Cena himself, Cena wasn't just creeped out. Cena was devastated.
Yeah.
He was first even before Bray and the kids came out. He was questioning why the WWE Universe put him in a 3-on-1 handicap match. They had the chance to put him in a 1-on-1 match with one member of the Wyatt family, and yet they just went ahead and put him in a 3-on-1 match, and that completely rocked Cena's world. It turned it upside down, wondering, why do you put me in this situation?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I get it. I came here 10 years ago. The crowd was raucous back then, and I let you do your own thing.
Right.
And now suddenly you've completely
do a complete 180
on him, and now for the first time in 10 years, Cena's legitimately questioning, like, if the WWE Universe has any faith left in him, that they would put him in this situation. And I think that I've said this in the last couple of weeks. This is really the first time that I think anyone's actually really gotten to Cena.
Right.
I mean, you had Kane last year trying to attack him emotionally.
Yeah.
Believe in the hate. I mean, you had guys attack him physically. You even had guys try to attack him mentally. No one has gotten to Cena as much as Bray has. I think it's going to be a great. It's not going to be a given that Cena comes out on top this time around.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, Bray doesn't care about winning.
No.
He doesn't care about winning. He just cares about his message getting out.
And I just want to check and see if this is
what Cena
working
does
or
in
not.
a cage match to Bray, whether or not Bray escapes this coming Sunday
or not,
his message may get out anyway, and we may see the side of Cena that Bray just keeps talking about.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be. I mean, even watching John Cena with the whole situation though, I was really beginning to think though that we're actually going to see the heel of John Cena. We're actually going to see this, but I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll see this at Extreme Rules. We'll see if he decides to switch the whole face how he's done for so many years,
Right,
and unleash the heel. So
all right, well, I mean, we'll touch down on more in the upcoming roundtable special, our paper preview for Extreme Rules. Changing gears, the Evolution versus the Shield, which took another big turn this Monday night.
Oh boy!
All right, is it finally working? Gee.
The surreal moment in this feud came last Monday, when Evolution and the Shield were having a standoff of sorts in the ring.
Yep.
And we previewed this last week. We were wondering, where was the special guest? Where was Ric Flair in all this? We hadn't seen Ric Flair all night, and suddenly near the end of the night, when Shield and Evolution are having their standoff, here comes the Nature Boy.
Woo!
Styling and profiling down to the ring, and he comes in the ring. He starts talking about the glory days of the Four Horsemen, the glory days of Evolution, how they pretty much they ran the show, and then he said it was all about power and style, just getting the job done.
Right.
And then he says he sees that in the superstars of today, and that's when he turns to the Shield and gives them his endorsement.
Which,
Wow. Yeah, I know. Essentially, turning a blind eye to Evolution.
Yeah.
Essentially, and just giving them shaft. Just outright saying, okay, guys, our time is done. Their time is now.
Right. And I guess the big question that really struck me was, and then I mean even at the last part though, when he kind of winked at Evolution. So this is gonna be hectic. I mean, is he gonna really favor for the Shield, or I mean, is he kind of pulling wool over everybody's eyes and kind of in favor of Evolution? We will finally see the full reformation of Evolution.
We'll see indeed, and we'll touch on more of that in the paper preview. Now, of course, the final big match we have, is the Extreme Rules match between the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan and Kane. Of course, we already touched on their history as tag team partners as far as Team Hell No. Now it's become even more personal.
Oh, yeah.
Because this past week, as Stephanie McMahon was trying to apologize to Daniel Bryan and his wife, Brie Bella, and even tried to offer sort of a consolation gift, a Divas Championship match against Paige, which Brie Bella did try to make the most of.
Yeah, up until
Kane, the flames of Kane hit. Everyone was shocked. Bryan was ready, wondering where he was going to be coming from.
Yep.
And just out of nowhere, Kane comes bursting up through the ring, makes a grab for Brie Bella, tries to abduct her. Brie Bella tries to get away. Bryan grabs a monkey wrench from under the ring, lays Kane out with it, and as he's trying to usher Brie out of the ring, Kane suddenly assaults Bryan, lays him out with a chokeslam, tries going after Brie again.
Yeah.
But then Brie thankfully manages to escape.
Yeah.
And as Bryan's being checked because he may have aggravated his neck, he may have had his neck injury aggravated from Kane. They and Stephanie tried to look sincere in saying that she never intended for this. Bryan said, probably the most chilling words, is that you and Kane are going to regret dragging my wife into this. Because now this has turned into taken it to a whole another level. This has gone beyond personal.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, Bryan can take his lumps. We all know he can dish them back out in kind. Now Kane laid his hands on his wife.
Yeah, and if everybody did pay attention at WrestleMania, during that whole level up when he was trying, how much emotion was coming at it, you can tell how serious he was or how he takes it seriously. Kane, you basically just brought up the serious mode when it came to Daniel Bryan. You're going to maybe live to regret this. I don't know, all depending on Daniel Bryan's case. I mean,
it's Extreme Rules, so essentially it could favor either man. It could favor Kane, because we know Kane will do just about anything to destroy his opponent.
Yep.
But we've seen in past street fight matches, in no DQ matches, Bryan excels at those.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see. Again, we'll touch on that in the paper preview. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time for Zack and I to call out a couple of superstars in the upcoming for our Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
Yep.
And we're going to start off with the Zack Attack.
I got no words. I got no words whatsoever. I was hoping for I don't know. Well, okay. So for this week's Zack Attack, last week, I called out the Walrus because of my issues with him. This week, I've been wanting to call this person out for a few weeks now, and I've been pushing it off aside. This week, I am calling out the Wyatt family. Now, I've had my issues in the past with them, just how creepy they are, and I've demonstrated how creepy Wyatt is, especially at WrestleMania. But this week it really creeped me out on a major case, just how it was. And okay, Wyatt, I got the message what you're trying to do, unleash the inner monster in your opponents and such. But for the love of God, why? Why drag the kids in this? I get the message you're trying to send though, but good Lord, dude. It's like you sunk down to a whole new stinking level. I'm really hoping John Cena really is in the right state of mind though to kick the crud out of you and stops the message you're trying to send. I'm really hoping he does. So, from my perspective, and I hate to say doing a little early prediction, I'm really pulling for John Cena to really knock the crud out of you, Wyatt. And I'm gonna agree with for seeing a few this past Monday how everybody voted for a 3-on-1. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, why do this? That just doesn't make sense. If you wanted to drill the message in him, you could have done on 1-on-1 or the 2-on-1. That would have been maybe negotiable. But it just honestly, I really hope you do lose at Extreme Rules, man, because you've had your fair share in steel cages. You may want to pay attention to John Cena's case, because he's been pretty much not a force to be messing with when it comes to extreme steel cages. So I'm hoping you lose, dude, and I promise you, Wyatt, you will lose.
Strong words from Mr. Martinkus.
Mm-hmm.
Just as strong as the words I'm going to have for one Mr. The newly dubbed King of Swing.
Ugh.
One Mr. Antonio Cesaro, managed by the Walrus, Paul Heyman. Now, my words aren't...
It's all right.
My words for Mr. Cesaro aren't as harsh, but I feel the need that he needs to know this. Mr. Cesaro, it is great that you have a great manager in Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
He's managed multiple-time world champions.
Yep.
It's consecutive world champions, mind
Yeah.
you. Now, but RVD doesn't make a lot of good points with his promos.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that Van Dam was right is that you need to keep a very, very close eye on Mr. Heyman. Because here's the problem. Mr. Heyman knows how to take his clients to the top of the mountain. It's keeping them at the top of the mountain that Heyman has the hardest time with.
Yeah.
And the moment he sees that you're about to topple off that mountain peak, that mountaintop, as he's falling with you, he's going to latch on to the next rising superstar climbing his way up, and he's going to ride their back to success. So my advice is, you keep a close eye on him. And the moment and do what Punk should have done. Do what CM Punk should have done. Do what Lesnar should have done. As soon as you feel like you've gotten far enough, as soon as you reach that proverbial mountaintop, that plateau, give Heyman a couple of swings, give him the neutralizer, say bye-bye, because when you were coming up on your own, Heyman wasn't there when you body slammed Big Show over the top rope. He wasn't there when you were getting over by swinging around people and giving 400-plus pounders the neutralizer. You were doing that on your own, and you'll do just fine on your own. So the moment you feel like that Heyman's outlived his usefulness, give him the swing and move on.
Preaching to the choir on that.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be having the Extreme Rules pay per preview later on, but we have a few few wrestling fanatic friends of ours. But we are first going to have them on for our WK Q&A segment. So I'd like to introduce our guests now. One of our returning members, Mr. Stanley. And we gentlemen like to introduce or reintroduce yourselves to the audience.
Yeah.
Just a little technical delay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, our apologies for. Yeah, just.
All right, if you gentlemen like to join us,
Sure.
Yep. A little bit of a delay, folks. Our apologies.
All right.
All right.
If you just like to move right in.
Whoopsie.
All right.
All right. I'd like to welcome back Mr. Stanley, and if you gentlemen like to introduce yourself.
Tommy.
Mr. Tommy and
Deshaun.
Mr. Deshaun. Deshaun, if we'd like to start with you, if you'd like to give yourself a brief introduction to the audience.
Hello world, my name is Deshaun. I'm a huge wrestling fanatic fan, and I enjoy watching you guys' show and watching you guys, talk wrestling and, just talk about like what's going on in the wrestling world. Keep up the good work too.
Okay, so we definitely will.
Now, Deshaun, what questions did you have for Zack and I?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about John Cena's, popularity so far, because on the WWE app, as you mentioned, he had the WWE fans had a choice of either putting him against one member of the Bray Wyatt, two members of the Bray Wyatt, or
three members of the Wyatt family.
Yes, and they chose all three, and 3 against 1, and after everything that has happened for last week when he said he has the whole world in his hands.
Right.
I was just wondering, asking you guys, do you think John Cena's popularity is starting to go down a little bit?
I think Cena's popularity was already starting to go down even before this.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to remember, Cena's always, in the words of one Michael Cole, has always evoked a variety of emotions in the WWE crowd. You've had one half of the crowd, essentially the fangirls and the kids chanting, "Let's go Cena."
Cena sucks.
Yeah, you have all the smarks and all the adult men
I
chanting.
just hear more of Cena suck chants more than Let's Go Cena, because I just hear.
You even had the post WrestleMania audience actually chanting "Cena sucks" a lot to his theme song.
John Cena sucks.
I enjoyed it.
So it just seems like each year they find a new way to stick it to Cena. And I think his popularity has always been in flux.
Yeah.
Even in his home state, you got to admit it's always been 50-50. In certain towns say or states like New Jersey, like Philadelphia, where ECW originated, and in Chicago, hometown of CM Punk, it's pretty much been 95% Cena sucks, 5% Cena fans. So it's always been in flux, and I mean it's just because I mean his character's stale. He never turned heel like The Rock did partway through his popularity. He's just he's only originated new moves in the last couple of years. Aside from that, it was always a routine Cena match, and there were times where Cena tries to put himself across as this squeaky clean baby face, and yet he does stuff that like is hypocritical of that. Like he can be a bully at times. He can be too brutal to really appeal to the kids. It's like, oh hey, bullying's bad and all that. I just feel like that we need a change to Cena. I don't really think it's going to be that harmful to Cena and company and the WWE just to, just give him a shot, okay? Because you need a new merchandise builder. You need someone else besides Cena. Cena can't keep wrestling forever.
Yeah,
he's not Ric Flair. He's not Ric Flair. You can't keep expecting Cena to wrestle forever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's just what I have to say on that.
All right. Now, your question, Tommy?
I really don't have a question, but I do agree with the whole thing with how Kenny was talking about with Paul Heyman and Cesaro, because he did take CM Punk, and CM Punk eventually did beat him up because of the fact of how he was treating him.
Because after Punk's 434 championship day reign ended, then he loses against The Undertaker. Then he takes a sabbatical. And I think Heyman saw the writing at the wall at that point that he wasn't going to get anything more out of Punk, even though Punk said, "Oh no, I'm not a client. I'm just a friend of Heyman's." He made that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
It wasn't about that. It was the fact that I think Heyman, again, like I said, saw the writing on the wall, realized that he wasn't going to get anything more out of Punk. He wanted to look for the next rising superstar. He thought he found that in Curtis Axel. He thought he found that in Ryback. And really, it wasn't until...
Honestly, I really did think that... I really did thought that, Paul Heyman was really gonna pop that question to Ryback. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's a whole nother
story.
That's a whole nother can of worms. That's a whole nother can of worms. Right there.
That was a total cluster. You know what?
I think, like I said, Cesaro, I think he needs to turn the tables on Heyman. He needs to get the most out of Heyman that he can, and at the first sign that Heyman's going to turn on him,
he turns on him.
Because Cesaro, we've seen Cesaro's a smart guy.
Oh yeah.
And for crying out loud, he knows 5 languages. He legitimately knows 5 languages.
Not only is he a great talent, he's just very, very smart.
So exactly. So he's not stupid. The moment he sees that Heyman's going to turn on him, he needs to pull the trigger first.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So I mean, was there anything else you wanted to?
That's it.
All right.
So Mr. Stanley, what question?
I just wanted to piggyback on some of the things you had said about Mr. John Cena earlier. I mean, I personally feel as if John Cena, he's not aggressive enough. I feel like he's gotten, like, remember back in like 2009 where the whole PG era began? I think John Cena was pretty much the face of that, where he pretty much had just little kids and just single mothers just pissing their pants in excitement every time they saw him. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We apologize for that.
Yeah,
I apologize for that. But anyways, I feel as if John Cena has gotten a little just PG, and I feel like this feud he has with Bray Wyatt, I feel like
has gone beyond.
Yes, and I feel like Bray Wyatt has sort of he's just gotten Cena completely out of his frame of mind,
out of his element, out of his safe zone.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was watching Raw at home, and I saw when Bray Wyatt had just all the children come out and sing with him, and I don't know, you looked at John Cena, he was on one knee and he was going like this, and I truly feel as if Bray Wyatt has just gotten inside the head of John Cena, and I look at that as an advantage for Bray Wyatt, because I feel as if we don't know what kind of John Cena is going to show up Sunday at Extreme Rules.
We don't know if it's going to be the regular John Cena or if it's going to be the John Cena that Bray Wyatt wants.
Yes.
The one that brought, ruthless aggression in his debut.
In his debut. So I mean, will we see that? I mean, that remains to be seen. So I mean, and that we'll talk more about that in the paper preview. Now, Zach and I have someone special that we want to cover for our superstar profile. He's got a championship match opportunity coming up at Extreme Rules.
Mr. I've got some bad news for Barrett. Barrett.
Mr. Bad News Barrett. So,
Can I please have some decorum, please? Oy.
Mr. Barrett originally came up, I believe, in 2010 or 2011.
I believe it was 2010.
2010, as the leader, as the originator of the group known as the Nexus, the first season group of NXT rookies.
Yep.
Now that was a group that was supposed to take over WWE, not much like the NWO took over WCW.
No, they basically revolutionized. I mean, even in their debut, it was a match against John Cena versus CM Punk, and they just tore the entire arena apart.
Right. And that was Barrett. Even though it was about equality, even though it was about 7 members, Barrett quickly established that he was out for himself. He made himself out to be the leader. He organized them. He organized all the assaults. He laid out superstars. He even at one point, he tricked John Cena into being like a member of the Nexus and helping him pave his way towards the WWE Championship match. Even after Cena subverted that, even though Cena got rid of him and the Nexus, Barrett went on to form the Core, and he
said there wasn't one leader. It was
but
just
4 equals.
Yeah.
But once again, Barrett made himself out to be the leader. He made it out to be for himself, and that group fills it out even quicker than the Core.
Well, I mean, not entirely. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, both he got the Intercontinental title, during that time, and yet Heath Slater,
and Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel won the tag team titles.
Yeah.
But the point was, Barrett once again made himself to be the de facto leader. He made himself out to be the head guy, the best person out of the Nexus and out of the Core. And just as soon as the Core fizzled out, Barrett said, "Forget it. No more groups. No more tag teams. I'm out for myself. I'm going back to what worked. I'm going back to the basics." He started out with greed is good. He started going back to be a money prize fighter. What he did in the old days before he came up to WWE. He started using basic striking the bull hammer elbow. He started being more brutal, more physical, taking on superstars like Sheamus, like Randy, like the Viper, Randy Orton,
Mark Henry,
and putting himself on their level in terms of physicality, in terms of aggressiveness. Now he kind of waffled for a little while because we weren't sure he was kind of a character identity crisis. We didn't know if he was just Wade Barrett, if he was Wade Barrett the prize fighter, if he was just Wade Barrett the rogue Englishman. But eventually we saw Barrett in the last year and on the JBL and Cole show on WWE.com as this bad news Barrett character, where essentially he delivered the most obvious of bad news to each and every superstar that he came in contact with. And eventually this carried over onto WWE television, on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
where he just randomly, even like in the middle of matches or seem important, even do that too. Heck, there was even one, and I mentioned this last week, one infamous situation where AJ Lee was, or as I call him, Maseko, was trying to celebrate her reign as the Divas champion, but
and Barrett, the only person that showed up was her friend Tamina, because she had ostracized herself from every other diva because the way she called him out a couple months earlier.
Yeah.
And Barrett pretty much told her the bad news that nobody likes you.
Pretty much.
Which cracked it cracked everyone up. Not to mention, now this is not known, Barrett made a surprise speech at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Really?
Yes, I remember that.
Exactly. Just calling out each of the Hall of Famers that really endeared himself to not only he did it completely on the fly. So this was a completely improvised speech that not only endeared himself to the superstars there, but to Mr. McMahon himself. And when you got someone like Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon backing you and your character,
It's always a plus.
it is
Huge
always
plus.
a plus.
Wow.
So now Barrett, fighting his way through the Intercontinental Championship tournament, fighting his way through Sheamus and RVD, has the chance to cement his big return to the wrestling stage by taking the Intercontinental title from one Mr. Big E Langston, which we will preview as part of our upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per preview. But right before that, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for What a Maneuver. And welcome to our What a Maneuver segment. For this week, we are highlighting Mr. Bad News Barrett himself.
I'm afraid I got some bad news.
Bad news for the both of us, because we're going to be demonstrating two of Bad News Barrett's signature maneuvers. The first being his signature wasteland maneuver, which I will be demonstrating on Zack.
Yep.
Now, of course, we have to forewarn everyone.
Do not try this at home.
All right, so it essentially works like a fireman's carry, where I get Zack into position like so.
Yep.
Now, I hold the position. Now instead of dropping to the side or back, I'm gonna flip him forward, kind of like Hardcore Holly's Alabama Slam spine buster.
Except it's not, like how it is. All right.
Right. So I go like this.
1, 2, 3, and oh, and I'm good.
So, now the second maneuver, which is Bad News Barrett's finishing maneuver, is the Bad News Bullhammer Elbow.
Now this move in particular, if you do it wrong, it really can't hurt him. So, like I said, like we both said, kids, do not try this at home. Now,
Right. So it's a simple but very painful maneuver.
yep.
So essentially, he winds up the elbow. Comes in.
Boom! And like I said, kids, do not try this at home. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay connected.
It turned out pretty good.
What a couple of maneuvers those were.
That was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time with Extreme Rules coming up this Sunday. It is now time for our Extreme Rules pay-per preview.
All right. So just okay. All right. So just
We don't. Well, I thought we originally had a segment, but we'll just move right on in.
Well,
The Extreme Rules pay-per-view coming up. We have a lot of matches to go through. A few extreme stipulations. Now, the first one we're going to start off with is the opening match, the pre-show match.
yeah, the WLC
match between El Torito of Los Matadores and Hornswoggle of apparently now the newly dubbed 3.5.
Oh, please.
I can't believe that this is what it's coming to. Like midgets in wrestling. Like
Well, midgets in wrestling have been around for a while.
Hey, this is on the
I know one
pre-show.
brother who, Midget Man, who actually, did a little segment on, part of the Spirit Squad. I actually met the guy. The guy, he knows how to do his stuff, dude.
I know, but I'm just saying, like on a pay-per-view on Extreme Rules, really?
Well, it
is on the pre-show.
Hornswoggle's been on pay-per-views before this.
Yeah,
so,
God,
and
who the heck can forget, like back in, oh, Lord, I believe it was like 07, when him versus the Great Khali. Oh, my God, that was a complete
Remember when you had the
cluster.
Cruiserweight title?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was the end of the Cruiserweight champ.
Yes.
Pretty much. Thank you
Pretty much was.
The only thing I'm going to say is, though, thank you very much, Hornswoggle, for screwing up the cruiserweight division for everybody. But, if anything, though, El Torito, for the love of God, please just knock this guy out like they're starting to yesterday, tomorrow. Just send him back over to Ireland.
So essentially, the build-up for this is that Hornswoggle is essentially jealous of the fact that El Torito is the new biggest little man in town. El Torito, I mean, he's the mascot from Los Matadores. Fear of the Bold, the legend exists.
Yeah.
I mean, and El Torito is just like really strong, really like athletic, midget.
Yeah.
Bold.
Yeah.
Call them little people, all right?
Really athletic little person who like jumps off the ring doing hurricane ranas, drop kicks, just all sorts of stuff to like guys twice his size.
Not to
I
mention
give him credit
Nailman-
where credit is due,
Nailman
though,
in the rear end with the
because he's
horse.
pretty athletic. I've seen him do the 5-star frog splash once before. So
You mean
I
the
think-
tadpole splash?
Yeah.
The tadpole splash.
Now,
Either way you want to call it.
essentially, that rivalry is sort of brooded, like it's brewed up to this point, to the point where they actually did a contract signing this past Friday on SmackDown for a WeLC match. Not
WeLC.
TLC.
What does that even
Not
mean?
ELC.
It's essentially, I'm assuming it's going to involve like step stools, like mini chairs, like maybe like a little
I'll
maybe
get you a ladder.
yeah, maybe like step ladders, maybe like little little coffee tables.
Yes.
So
This match is probably not even gonna last more than 5 minutes.
I hope to God it doesn't go longer than that. We'll start down here for predictions. Deshaun, who do you believe will come out on top in this?
Out of Hornswoggle and El Torito.
You're picking Hornswoggle?
Oh, we're picking a Hornswoggle or El Torito?
Yeah.
Or you could just pick no winner because
Please, just say.
no one wins
Because
this
tell you the
week.
truth, I'm not really interested in this match at all. Just saying, but if I had to choose, I would probably say Hornswoggle.
Okay, Hornswoggle.
I mean, yeah, I just want, El Torito just to shut Hornswoggle up. Send him back over to the sinking rainbow with his pot of gold. For the love of God, please do that.
So one for El Torito.
Or even better yet, please ram Hornswoggle in his rear end. That'd be funny. I mean, just come on.
All right, Stanley.
Can I just go with no decision?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, okay, well,
If you had to pick one.
okay,
If you had to pick one.
well, I'll go with Hornswoggle for experience because he has been around the block for a few years.
Sure.
You got a point, yeah.
So I'll go with Hornswoggle, even though I want to go with no decision.
Okay.
All right. Tom.
I agree with him. I really don't find the need for it, but if I had to pick, I would have to say El Chico.
Okay.
El Torito?
You kind of freaked me out there. I'm like, oh man,
Okay.
please tell me he's not going for a
I'm gonna go with El Torito in this one because
Oh my god.
I mean, Hornswoggle. Come on, Hornswoggle has not Hornswoggle has not been relevant. He essentially. I didn't have a problem with him joining 3MB because it was just like one comedy act joining another. I didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But now that this comedy match has actually worked its way to an actual pay-per-view, even if it's the pre-show match, it's still. Let's pray it only goes 5 minutes, and I pray Torito does some of his crazy stunts, and he puts Hornswoggle away quick and fast. So
Yeah.
I'm going with El Torito on this one.
All right.
Now we go into our first championship match of the night, which is the newcomer champion Paige versus the son of the Superfly herself, Tamina Snuka.
Jimmy,
Superfly. So just build up this match. Tamina winning a battle royal to earn the #1 contendership status. She's the most physically imposing diva since the days of the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. But now today she's the most imposing diva out there. So you're gonna be wondering, is Paige in over her head, or will her surprising aggressiveness that she has shown over the last week or so pave her way to retaining her title?
She's going to surprise, I think, a lot of people.
Right.
But I honestly don't see her winning this match. I would much rather prefer Tamina.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I just like Tamina and what she brings to the Divas division, and I think her being Divas champion would be amazing to see, and just see how she handles herself in the Divas division.
I'm just hoping Tamina doesn't pull if she does win, I'm hoping Tamina doesn't pull an Andre and just hand the Divas title back to A.
At least he didn't say though it wasn't. At least it wouldn't be as bad as with Emma, the evolution. Oh my god!
Please,
I'm
let's not go into that.
Santino and Emma, can you please just kiss and make up? Oh, jeez, I swear that song is.
At least the music's catchy.
Yeah, the music's catchy, but like, it's just the dance is just.
Freaky.
Come on! For the love of Peter, I'm just telling you. Emma, Santino, just please just shut up and just kiss each other, please. Just to get this over and done with. Please, I'm begging you. But, I mean, okay.
And what's your pick, Zach?
Oh, come on. Paige. Hands down, Paige.
Paige, all right.
Yes.
We pick-
Reason why, because I can't help but say this, though. I don't know, there's just something about her that just like, wow. Now, I know, I've said no in the past, I do kind of date crazy chicks. It's kind of interesting with, in her case, at least she's not like AJ.
She was this shy newcomer when she came out to congratulate AJ, and yet we've seen in the last couple of weeks she was a real aggressive side.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
is.
I mean, we saw.
Not to mention
we
bring out the moves.
That submission move too.
The
That is
modified,
incredible.
the modified scorpion
Yes.
lock.
Oh man.
The fisherman's
Yes.
DDT. Just
Turn page turn.
the page turner. So we've seen that Paige can beat her opponents
She
in a
can get it
variety
done.
of ways.
Oh,
She
yeah.
can get the job done.
Yeah, please, Paige. Turn the page on Tamina, please. I'm begging you.
Okay. All right. So we have. All right. So now Stanley, who's your pick to win the Divas Championship?
Well, part of me hopes this match part of me wishes this was a cage match so Tamina can go on the top of the cage and leap off like her father.
Superfly.
Awesome.
I knew you were going to say that somehow.
I would just fall off my chair. No, but when it comes to this match, I think this match is Paige's first big, challenger for the Divas title, because if you've seen her on Raw, she's been going against lesser-known divas like Alicia Fox and Oksana and
AJ Lee.
Slowly but surely establishing
Yeah.
herself
Yeah.
in the Divas division.
And I think they're purely doing that just for the fans to see what she's all about, because a lot of fans don't watch NXT, and for the fans that do, pretty sure they all know what Paige is all about. I've seen a few of Paige's matches in NXT, and I don't know, she's a really good performer, and I got to go with Paige retaining the Divas title.
Okay, so that's 3 for Paige. So Tommy, what's your take on the Divas Championship match?
My take is that Tamina is from Jay Suga, who's one of the Hall of Famers, actually great Hall of Famer. But I'm going to have to go with Paige because of her aggressiveness.
All right, and I mean I'm going to go with Paige because, for one thing, this is her first title defense. I mean, and it was a big deal ending AJ's record-breaking reign.
Yeah, which we do.
reign.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you for turning the page on AJ.
Right, for breaking the undefeated streak of AJ Lee. So it was a pretty big deal. They're trying to make the Divas Championship a big deal again.
Relevant.
Right.
They're trying to make it a big deal again. So to have her lose right away to Tamina right off the bat diminishes that impact. It just takes away from the fact that here comes this new girl. Really, her first big impact is pinning the seemingly undefeatable AJ Lee.
Yeah.
So just to kind of not even 30 days later, just to have her lose the title doesn't sit right with me. So I'm going with Paige to retain her over Tamina. It will be a close match. It will be a brutal match for Paige. I think she'll come out on top. So I'm going with Paige for this one.
Little side note here: wouldn't it be cool if Paige were to go against Natalya for the Divas title?
We could see that in the future. So you never know. Now coming to the next match, a unique situation. We have a handicap match, a 2-on-1 handicap match. R-Truth and his protege Xavier Woods against the newcomer, the Bulgarian Brute,
The Supreme.
Super Atletica, Alexander Rusev.
Oh, shit.
More like Busev.
Rusev.
Basically.
No, say that Bautista. say the boost for Bautista. All right, so now both R-Truth and Xavier Woods have tried taking on this newcomer, Alexander Rusev, this physically brutal Alexander Rusev, one-on-one. and both of them have come up pretty short. So the obvious solution: team up and try to take on Rusev 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's essentially the gist. That's essentially the gist.
This
They
Russian, have you guys
Well,
ever
no,
seen that?
well, he's the
Well,
Bulgarian.
Yeah.
he's
La-
Bulgarian.
Lana, his manager, is the ravishing Russian.
Oh, I always
Yeah,
keep
which
thinking
I
he's
honestly-
Russian. Why do I keep thinking he's
I don't
Russian?
know, but it just I honestly do think though that she probably might secretly be. I'm being honest with everybody. She probably is a porn star. I mean, come on. There's the signs all right here.
Whoa.
Sorry. My mistake. Sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
My apologies.
Deshaun?
Has any of you guys seen Rocky with that big Russian guy?
Yes.
Yes, Ivan Draco. I think that's his name.
Oh yeah.
This wrestler reminds me a lot of that. He's like doesn't say anything, but he's like straightforward, and he has his Russian gal who's just like
His biggest support,
his biggest supporter.
and essentially his instructor. I mean, pretty much the only words we hear out of Leonard that we can recognize are Rusev, crush.
Yeah. It's like seriously, like are we really having like a human version of the Hulk now? I mean, he looks like he's doing like a pose like as a Samoan though. I mean, I really do think the guys might be secretly Samoan that no one really knows. I mean, come on.
We don't know, but Deshaun, what is your pick for this match?
My pick for this match, I would have to give it to, what was his name again?
Alexander Rusev.
Alexander Rusev. I'll give it to Alexander Rusev.
Okay, and so Zach, who do you think is gonna? Do you believe the hip hop duo of Truth and Woods or Mr. Rusev?
Oh dang. I know numbers would usually kind of help out in certain cases, but if you look through the past, yeah, most of the times, especially when it comes to the heavyweights and whatnot, that doesn't really help out much. And I know I usually go for the whole for the heroes in this, and
So you're going with Rusev on this one?
I'm pretty sure you guys are all gonna vote for like Rusev, but I swear to God, Xavier Archer just shut this guy up and put his broad to sleep.
I don't see
So
it. I don't see it.
I'm going for the tag team.
The tag team of
What's in
Archer.
truth?
I think Alexander's going to go undefeated for a while.
All right, so
For quite a while.
Let's hope he doesn't have that Goldberg streak when he was in WCW.
Oh, God.
jeez.
okay,
Do not
so-
compare.
let's not. All right, Stanley.
I don't know. This Rusev guy, he's kind of like Umaga, God rest his soul, along with Vladimir Kozlov, all rolled into one. And I don't know. I think this is probably just another match that's just gonna make him seem like he's tough and
He's tough. He's dominating. He squashes less.
Yes.
He squashes drop. I just don't like that they're giving him the whole jobber squash run. I wish they would start. I wish they would start against more established superstars than Xavier Woods.
Right. I mean, heck, he could have. All right, and I know I'm kind of bringing up John Cena again, though, but I mean, come on. That kind of a match, though, yeah, that should have lasted 5 minutes, though. But no, it made John
Cena. So put Rusev against more established talent and establish him that. Don't just put him. Just don't put him against low-ranked guys because that doesn't mean anything. We've seen lesser guys than Rusev run through Woods or Truth.
Yeah, I mean, good lord, you look at years ago with Tensai.
Right.
Jeez.
So
I would say put him in a rivalry with Sheamus and see how that
That would
goes.
be interesting.
Right. So in the meantime, I mean, who do you pick for this 2-on-1 handicap match?
I'd like to go with Truth and Xavier. First of all, I still don't call him Xavier Woods. I call him by Consequences Creed.
But I mean,
But-
in
this case.
Wait a minute.
he was the guy in TNA, Consequences.
Remember?
What?
But we were just
Oh
splitting
my
hairs.
God!
So what's
I gotta take a look at that again.
yeah? So I mean, what's your pick for the match?
I'd like to go with him and R-Truth, but I gotta go with Rusev. It's just gonna be. I think at best this is gonna be probably like a 10-minute match where Rusev.
10-minute match.
Maybe not 10 minutes. Maybe like 15 minutes at
Pretty
best.
sure.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a squat. I see Rusev dispatching him in like quick fashion.
I don't know. I think they'll Truth and Woods they'll have some sort of offense, but in the end, Rusev will just win.
All right.
I don't know.
And Tommy, what's
I personally like R-Truth and Xavier when it comes to wrestling, but I'm going to go with Rusev because of his brute strength. So.
all right? So we got, and I mean, you got Rusev, like Paige. I mean, part of the NXT invasion, just one of the new debuting superstars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rusev's trying to make an impact, and he already made an impact at the Royal Rumble earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
I think this is where he makes his next big impact by dispatching both R-Truth and Xavier with really not much effort. I think he just rolls right over them and just keeps on going. So I'm going with Rusev.
Yeah, he
Oh,
made
boy.
an impact in the Rumble, but not the kind that Roman Reigns did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He eliminated 12
All
minutes.
right,
and that-
everybody.
So now
Everybody.
moving on along, we
had-
come to the triple threat elimination match between RVD, Jack Swagger, the now sole real American, and the King of Swing, Cesaro. Now RVD became embroiled in this personal feud between Swagger and Cesaro when he essentially stated that he advised Cesaro not to associate himself with Heyman because RVD is a past Paul Heyman guy, and when Zeb Coulter, the manager of the Real Americans, tried to appeal to RVD that they had a common enemy in Cesaro,
And to try to work together.
RVD
no.
turned him down, essentially earning him the ire of both Cesaro and Swagger. Thus, we ended up with this triple threat elimination match. So, Deshaun, who do you believe will pick up the win in this match?
Well, I just want to say RVD has been his own guy. Even with ECW, he's been his own guy for quite a while now, and I don't think that's going to change. So I would have to say RVD squeaks it out against Cesaro and Swagger.
Interesting pick. All right, Mr. Martinkus, who do you believe will come out on top in this triple threat match?
I'm going for the whole
Whole
stinking
effing
show.
RVD.
RVD.
What of a kind!
I assume, Mr. Stanley, that you're going to be going with RVD.
I mean, for me, it's kind of tough because I've been a huge fan of Cesaro for a long time, even before the WWE. And on the other hand, I like RVD because I've also been following him for so many years from ECW up until now. But I'll go with Cesaro on this one.
Cesaro, all right.
I think he'll get the winning pinfall on Van Dam.
Ooh, interesting. Well, you have to mind, this is a triple threat elimination match.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So do you still?
it'll be down to Cesaro and RVD. Jack Swagger's just gonna.
Yeah, I just feel like Swagger's just sort of fodder in this.
Jack Swagger's just there.
He's just
He's there to make everybody look good.
It's like a stinking mouse
I'm
sign.
going to go with Cesaro because I feel that RVD and Cesaro are going to team on Swagger, eliminate him, and then both of them are going to fight, and Cesaro's going to take it with the
Interesting.
neutralizer.
I mean, RVD. When I called him out a week or so ago, I just feel like he's spinning his wheels. I just feel like he's just sort of there right now. He is his own guy, but
Yeah.
he's not really doing anything.
he has to find something and go for it.
Yeah, but he pretty much just put himself in the middle of this by refusing help. Without even intending to. But now, and Swagger, like I said, Swagger's just like coming up on the end of this.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
basically just a road sign.
He's lost to RVD. He's lost to Cesaro. He has the least momentum going to this, so we know he's not going to come out.
He's lost to everybody.
So
He
pretty much lost to everybody.
Cesaro has the most to gain from this by eliminate. And I say not only does he win the match, I say he eliminates both men. I'm putting my vote down for Cesaro. I say he comes out on top. I say he comes out on top, and takes his match dominantly.
All right.
You notice that's like the third time I did that now. I'm a Cesaro guy. What do you mean?
Okay, so now we come
four.
Well, you
come
got
to
it.
the finals of the Intercontinental Championship tournament. We come to one Mr. Bad News Barrett
Bad news.
versus the Intercontinental Champion Big E Langston for the championship. Big E's essentially had to watch 8 different competitors compete to see who he's going to be facing for the Intercontinental title. We saw Barrett go through not only Sheamus, a former world champion, which was shocking.
What a
enough.
match that was.
That was a brutal
great
match. Then RVD, albeit in controversial fashion, but regardless, he is now facing He's now facing off with Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Barrett's got all the momentum going to this match. While Big E has essentially only had one match over the past month, he's trying to gauge who he's going to be facing. So he hasn't been competing. So I'm wondering if Big E is going to have rust going into this, and I think that's going to be the difference. I think Barrett surprises Big E here, and comes out with the Intercontinental Championship, becoming a two-time Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't 3?
I believe it was 3.
A three-time Intercontinental Champion, if I'm mistaken. Now, Deshaun, who do you believe will come out on top this Sunday?
I just can't wait for Wade Barrett to just give him that boom. I think he wins the match. Like, it's going to be a good match between him and Big E, but, like, I see Wade Barrett pulling it out.
All right. Now, Zach, who do you think is going to win the IC title this Sunday?
I'm over for a big ending.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
Wow. You think Big E's going to retain?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Okay. I mean, the guy is. I could tell just by him surveilling, what he. For one thing, yeah, he's setting up on who he's going to be facing. But I think he's also hungry for competition. I mean, yeah, granted, he won the title back in, I believe it was, November?
Right.
Yeah, and he really hasn't had that much of a challengers here and there. And this guy's hungry for a challenge. I really do believe, he's surveilling what's going on, though. He's hungry for competition, actual serious competition, not like, the whole cluster show with, Fondingo was his name, oh.
Okay, so you believe Big E, so Big E's going to win. Stanley?
Well, with the Big E Langston, I sort of call him the new Curtis Axel, because because remember, Curtis Axel had that Intercontinental title.
It didn't really mean much.
Yeah.
But it didn't
even
really
though
mean much. He didn't go against serious competition.
And we haven't seen Big E against serious competition
And that's the
either.
same thing with that's what I hate. Classic titles like the Intercontinental title has just been so watered down last few months. Like the guys you think have the title, you think they're gonna take that title to new heights, but
They
just
don't.
hasn't worked out.
We thought Big E was going to take it to new heights, and he hasn't really done anything with it.
Yes, and so I think it's time for Wade Barrett to take that.
And hopefully
next
it will
step.
not only re-legitimize the Intercontinental title, it will help legitimize
Yeah.
Barrett's career.
So when it comes to my pick, if you think Big E's gonna win, I've got some bad news.
All right.
Yeah, give him that
I
boom.
just feel sad with Big E because he's a big guy and he is pretty strong when it comes to boot strength against other superstars with boot strength.
I'll give it to you. Big E can be brutal when the time calls. So we'll see.
Little side note: doesn't Big E look like Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I thought.
Muscular
Yes.
version. A big, heavy, muscular version.
Yeah.
Of Carlton, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
so moving on because our time's running a little short here. We come to the Bray Wyatt versus John Cena inside the steel cage. This is one of the big three matches. So Deshaun, I'll start with you. I mean, we covered so much.
This is going to be a tough match, but I don't know. I'm going to have to say I think the Beast in Cena will come out. It will come out, and I think he will win. The Beast in Cena will come out, I believe.
So you think the Beast will come out? So you're picking
Yes,
Cena to go with
Cena.
this. All right. So you're picking.
I mean, I've already made my statement, though. I mean, I'm agreeing with Deshaun, though. I mean, Cena better bring out the really bring out the ruthless aggression and personify that to the heel that I know none of us don't really want to see. But you know what? Now's the timing is just do it. Please, just do it.
All right, Stanley.
I mean, for me, this is tough. I think John Cena has been so mentally out of it thanks to Bray Wyatt, and John Cena better bring not just his A game, he better come to work Sunday in that cage, because if he doesn't, Bray Wyatt is just gonna destroy him physically and mentally. But as far as this match goes, I feel as if Cena is somehow just gonna pull one out and just come out with a victory.
All right. So three for Cena, Mr. Tommy.
Personally, I like Wyatt and Cena because I like Wyatt because with the whole, he has the whole world in his hands and the whole darkness that he brings and scariness. But I'm personally going to go with Cena because he has the ability not to give up, which is his strongest point against other superstars.
That means nothing against Bray Wyatt.
That is true.
I gotta agree with Stanley on
Bray
that.
Wyatt cares about any of that?
Bray, like I said, Bray doesn't care about winning. Bray doesn't care about winning as long as he gets to unleash the monster that's inside Cena. And I think Wyatt's going to capitalize on that, pick up the win over Cena, because Cena will go so far over the edge that he loses sense of where he is, of who he is, and what he's doing, and that allows Bray to come in and pick up the champion, and pick up the big win over Cena, and then it'll just completely, the whole entire thing will be Cena's entire world will crumble after that. He's already.
It will be worse than him losing to The Rock.
It'll be even worse.
It will be 10 times worse.
Remember how drained out Cena was when he lost to Rock?
Right. So right. So
That's true.
And then
we move on to Daniel Bryan versus Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. An extreme rules match at Extreme Rules. How apropos.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Kane has made this beyond personal for Daniel Bryan, as we stated, putting the mask back on, trying to abduct Daniel's wife, Brie Bella. So just you have to wonder. Like Wyatt, we've seen it. Is Kane inside Bryan's head, or is Bryan just gonna bring something even more extreme to this match than even Kane can handle?
This has gone way, way too personal, way over the edge, and way out of hand. And it's one thing to hurt you. It's one thing to hurt you and break your neck, but
Bryan
fractured neck.
He took a stinger. He didn't
stinger. Okay. It's one thing to hurt him, but it's another to attack the wife. It's a totally different.
Loved ones.
That's it's a totally different platform, and very much like I want to see Cena, bring out the beast. I also want to see Daniel Bryan bring out the beast and take out Kane.
So you're going.
Yes, Daniel Bryan.
All right, Zach.
come on, y'all know the I'm part of the
Yes.
Come on. I am part of the yes movement, so without a shadow of a doubt, Daniel Bryan.
I actually like Daniel Bryan.
And as Sean mentioned, this is hit, on a personal level. And as I mentioned earlier, when it comes, this even at WrestleMania, though, when all the stakes were coming at him so much, the emotions, kicked in.
Right.
And he's gonna bring that out again. And he's gonna knock the living crud out of Kane.
Right. Mr. Stanley.
Well, I think obviously Daniel Bryan's going to be wrestling with a heavy heart because we all know his father passed away. And along with the fact that Kane did put his hands on Daniel Bryan's new wife, Brie Bella. And, this side of Kane I like because it reminds me of the 03 Kane, the one that just terrorized just everybody in this site when he lit Jim Ross on fire, when he had that just violent feud with Shane McMahon. But when it comes to this match, I think Daniel Bryan is gonna pull off the win. I say he makes Daniel Bryan tap out. No, make Kane tap out to the yes lock.
Interesting choice. All right.
I personally like them both, and I know Kane has a very brutal contact when it comes to weapons, but I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan with that right-handing knee.
So, I gotta agree with this. This is Daniel Bryan's first championship defense. And against a reinvigorated Kane.
The 03 Kane.
The 03 Kane, who's proven to be just as brutal as the 03. He's proven to be just as brutal as the 03 Kane. So again, this is like with Paige. This is his first championship defense, and this shouldn't just go the way of Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit's World Championship reign back in 04. Bryan needs to have a long, healthy reign as WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Where essentially that whole 8-9 month storyline build
It's just a waste.
It's an essential waste.
Yeah.
Just like his championship win at WrestleMania, his first championship defense needs to go without a hitch.
Right.
So I think Bryan. I mean, it will be brutal. It's gonna get nasty. It's gonna be extreme. Pardon the pun. But Bryan's gonna come out on top here, and I think he will do it in an exceptionally brutal fashion.
Oh yeah. And then the final match.
The marquee match for Extreme Rules is the Shield, the Hounds of Justice, versus the newly reunited Evolution. Now, essentially, right here, you had the Shield getting involved in the business. You had essentially Triple H labeling the Shield to be bland, anonymous, pawns of the authority, and the Shield did not like that, especially when it was revealed that
Triple H put the hit on the Shield.
put the hit on them after assaulting the former director of operations, Kane.
Yeah.
So the Shield made a complete about face, turning their attention towards the authority and seeking out justice against them, and of course, caught in the crossfire were Batista and Randy Orton, whose main goal was the WWE World Championship, but they put that on the back burner so they could help Triple H take care of their mutual problem in the Shield, subsequently reforming Evolution. And they've been just as devastating as they were back in 2004.
Yeah.
Laying out the Shield one week, essentially hiring like 10, 11 different superstars to ambush them and leave them easy pickings for Evolution.
Yeah. Cowards.
Exactly. So now we have the biggest faction of this year versus the biggest faction of yesteryear in Evolution. So I've got to ask, Deshaun, we start with you. Who comes out on top of this one?
Wow, man. I got to say, this is tough, man. And this is a battle and a match that we are going to remember for years. I just want to get that out the way. And maybe Ric Flair makes an appearance, maybe, I don't know, but I think Evolution may come out alive.
Wow. All right, Zach. Pressure's on you.
Sorry, Shield, but Evolution is here.
You shouldn't have did that fist pound with this.
You deceiver. I'm sorry, but yeah, you know what? I've made this statement, before, and I'm gonna mention this. Believe in the Shield.
So one for the Shield, Mr. Stanley.
Like he was talking about, this is a tough match because I am a big believer in the Shield, and I also loved Evolution back then. The way they just ran Raw with an iron fist, even though Eric Bischoff was the Raw GM. But
yeah, did you also forget the downfall of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. But anyways, yeah, this match is tough for me because I'm a fan of both these factions. I don't know. I look for Seth Rollins and Randy Orton to go at it. I think the both of them are going to have some good chemistry work in this match. But as far as my pick goes, for me, it's either like you can flip a coin, Evolution or the Shield. But when it comes to this match, I'll go with the Shield by a landslide.
In dominating fashion, you say?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be so back and forth, but the Shield is somehow going to pull away with the win. I want to go with Evolution, but it's tough.
All right. So Tommy, who do you believe is going to?
Personally, I like both sides. I'm a big fan of Randy Orton and Triple H and Batista, and they do have done some pretty insane stuff. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to go with the Shield because they are more powerful, and as you can see, I have the Shield on my knuckles as support. So.
Yeah. All right. So, my pick. Evolution just reunited, and still in the back of the minds are Orton and Batista are the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You wonder if their minds are going to be completely invested in this.
That's a good point.
And I mean, this is Triple H's war, not theirs. So
Yeah.
I mean, if they lose, who knows if Batista and Orton are going to stick around to help Triple H again?
Yeah.
So again, there's that.
They're just there for
Here's
a
the thing:
fight.
this is the chance for the Shield to cement their WWE legacy, essentially, by dominating not only the CEO of the company, not by only dominating
The Viper and the Animal.
any animal, not dominating a record 32 championship reigns combined between these three superstars in Evolution.
Yeah.
But a chance to cement their legacy by defeating one of the top factions in the entire history of the WWE. So I am putting my pick in. I'd say regardless of whether Ric Flair is out or not, he may play a factor in this. We don't know. That remains to be seen. But I am going with the Shield on this one. I believe they come out. They seek. They dominate. They make the yard theirs, and they cement their legacy. So
I feel like Ric Flair is going to come out and just turn on the Shield.
I think he
really
will be
hope he
there.
does.
Like
I
I'm
think
not
he-
100% sure, but I think he
Reformed
will.
Evolution the way like it was. Evolution is not Evolution without the Nature Boy. Ric
Yeah,
Flair.
well, don't forget though, they tried to do that before, but look what happened.
Right.
But
Right.
right.
We'll see what happens coming up. Now, before we sign off, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to mention that Zach and I have started a little contest between the two of us, determine
bragging rights.
bragging rights for whoever makes the most successful picks for each of the pay-per-views. Zach won last month for WrestleMania, so he currently holds the WK Championship.
Yeah, and I'm still undefeated, 2-0.
Right. So if I get the most correct picks coming up this Sunday, I will become the new WK Heavyweight Champion of the show. Of course, if Mr. Martinkus comes on top, he will retain his championship and go 3-0.
Don't use
Recognize
any dirty
3-0.
tactics. No thumb to the
Don't
eye.
cheat your
no,
way out of it.
no powder to the face.
Oh, come on, really?
Who do I look
I'm not
like?
Mr. Fuji.
Who do I look like, Mr.
I don't know. I saw AJ Styles doing it in the elevation next to him right now.
All right. So, I mean, if you'd like to make comments on the upcoming pay-per-view, if you'd like to ask Zach and I any questions about the show, or if you just have questions about wrestling in general, you can contact us on our Twitter page at WConnection. You can look us up at you can look up at the Wrestling Connection on www.facebook.com/TheWrestlingConnection. See the name. You see the show name below. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I like how y'all did that.
Right. So contact us on Facebook. Like I said, any questions about wrestling, if you have any comments, just if you'd like to catch past episodes of the show, we post them all up on Facebook. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. I like to thank Sean, Tommy, and Stanley for coming on for our paper
pleasure,
preview
man.
for Extreme
It's a
Rules.
pleasure,
Thank
man.
you guys very much.
One thing for
Happy
sure.
to be
Rest
here.
in peace to the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yes,
let that
sir.
be known.
Yes, sir.
All right. So everyone, be connected, get connected, stay connected. One more time.
Not you.
No, not
Yeah,
me.
you
Not me.
traitor.
Evolution.
Connection.